Hello humans, how art thou today? Doing pretty dandy myself. Today's video is going to be a little bit different. I've been trying to toss in some different strange ideas here and there to kind of, shuffle the feathers a little bit on the channel. Obviously always doing the is it worth it and whatnot, but today's video is different than what I've done in quite some time. Now, as you guys know, I love adventure, I love travel, I love doing all kinds of different things, whether it's, with Maoyan and doing all kinds of cool stuff like that, and going as a party, or going, sometimes even I go solo. Depends, you know what I mean? But most of the time it's just as a party. So today's video is going to be about some destinations I've been to. Now, this video is going to pretty much sum it up as my top 5 destinations that you absolutely should travel to and absolutely should go to, and why you should. Now, the format's going to be a little bit different. What I'm going to do is I'm going to be inserting lots of different pictures, and we're going to be talking about all the different things that are there. I might throw some video clips in there, more than likely not. It's just going to be mostly pictures, but we'll take a look and see if I can rustle up some different things. So it's going to be basically boom, 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 different shots. You can check them out, listen to what I got to say about them, and I'm going to start with the number 5. Which is going to be your, I don't want to say lowest, but it's the lowest of the top 5 ranking. Then, we're going to go 5, 4, 3, 2, and then ultimately leading to number 1. And there's obviously some runner-ups and that didn't make the cut, but I also love going to those locations as well. So anyways, stand by. I'm going to go ahead and start crafting this for you, and then here in 1 second, you're going to start getting some shots and some information about places that you should definitely visit ASAP. And if you haven't already, go there, and if you have, go there again. So, alright, here we go, meow. Alright, coming in at number 5 is Chicago. Now, as you can see, it is absolutely gorgeous. Now, you have multiple different skyline shots here. These were all taken around the Navy Pier area. As you can see, just the Great Lakes and the skyline, everything is just beautiful. Now, I know they get kind of a bad reputation for crime and different things like that, but like every city, they have some rough areas and they have some amazing areas. From all the areas that I've visited, it's always been absolutely gorgeous, fun, and full of life. Now, I would definitely recommend checking out the Navy Pier. There's lots of little shops. There's a Ferris wheel, which you're going to see in this shot here. There's great views all the way across the lake, and it's nestled right around the business district area where there's tons and tons of like restaurants and stores, and pretty much like I guess you would call it like a river walk. And the river walk is really fun to do. I know me and Mia did we walked for like probably 1, 2, 3 miles, and you just keep walking because there's just so many good sights to see. Now, other than Chicago's awesome Navy Pier, they have a really awesome aquarium here that is just right around almost the Navy Pier area. It's only within like a mile or two, if that. And there's crazy looking crabs and like lobster and all kinds of crazy crustaceans. They have a giant tank with whales and dolphin and all kinds of like seafaring animals. I can't even remember how many there are, but it's really gorgeous. And they have like a stingray like feeding area and all kinds of different like neat gifts you can get at the gift shops and whatnot. And it's not too overpriced as well. It's really set up cool. It has like a central area that you can walk into. Then there's different hallways down different sections. But I highly recommend going and checking out the whale because that was really cool, and the dolphins were cool too, of course. So awesome aquarium, but there's so much more as well. Like the amazing donut shops and pastries and all kinds of desserts they have. I mean, whether you're going to Italy, which has all kinds of Italian stuff, or you're going to just one of the random donut places or dessert places, their donuts and desserts are absolutely amazing, and you will probably gain like, I don't know, 5, 10, 100 pounds because you're not going to want to stop eating these donuts. I mean, look at some of those flavors right there. Chili, lime, mango. I mean, come on. But not just donuts either. You're going to find some amazing Korean barbecue, which I highly recommend that you go to and check out some of their Korean barbecues in downtown. I'm going to insert a lot of the names and locations in my description here. There's also my favorite of all places, which was RPM Steakhouse, which has such good food, you have no idea. They are one of only 10 restaurants in the country as of the date today that can serve real Kobe beef like you're saying right here. Not the Wagyu, but well, I know Kobe is Wagyu, but I mean specifically the Kobe of Wagyu, and you definitely want that Kobe. And then obviously the next picture, they have snow beef. Now, snow beef is also one of their Kobe style beasts, but this one's even crazier. They're one of only 6 restaurants in the entire world that can serve snow beef. It's super expensive, but it's like a pillow in your mouth. And I kid you not, you definitely want to try that. It's worth it for a one-time situation. But that snow beef, they only slaughter like 2 cows a month on that farm, and it's really hard to get it. So you definitely want that. And then, of course, their maple glazed bacon, giant bacon things were absolutely delicious. So kudos to RPM. And of course there is ramen, which is absolutely delicious, and I'm talking legitimate ramen. It's not some of the best ramen I've had, but it's still really, really good, especially if you haven't had real legitimate ramen before. And then last but not least, if you go to Chicago, you absolutely must have some of their deep dish pizza. It is so freaking good, and there's so many places you can go, but I will throw in the description the place that I went to that you can see in this delicious picture here. So let's go on to the next city. Now, the next area that I love going to is the San Diego and La Jolla Beach, La Jolla area. They are so beautiful. The first picture you're going to see is La Jolla Beach, where there are literally seals and sea lions and all that stuff all over the beach. They're still wild animals, but they're pretty darn tame. You can literally walk pretty close to them. And a lot of people are annoying and like to take selfies with them, and they won't do nothing. The area is beyond beautiful, and the weather is beyond perfect. The city of La Jolla is absolutely gorgeous. It's quirky and colorful and beautiful, and you need to visit there once in your life. We went in November, and it was around 70, and it was gorgeous. And then, of course, San Diego is amazing. The city is beautiful. It's just, there's just so much to see in San Diego. But the one area I'm going to highlight for us is going to be the San Diego Zoo, which is literally the best zoo that I visited in this country. The animals are so well taken care of. Their exhibits are beautiful. It is definitely the best panda exhibit you will see in this country and probably on this side of the world. So I highly recommend going to the San Diego Zoo because it is amazing. And of course, the next shot's going to be Del Taco. Now, the reason why I put that in there, I put a couple of fast food joints. Just because, why not? We were too fancy last clip. So Del Taco is like a fast food Taco Bell of the west side, south side of the country. So SoCal, Southern California. They serve a lot of stuff on corn tortillas, so it's a little different. So you should definitely check that out. And then, of course, famously, and one of the best fast food burger places in the country, possibly the world, is In-N-Out Burger. Please, double, triple, so freaking delicious. So I crave them every day. They're constantly in competition between Shake Shack and In-N-Out because East Coast likes In-N-Out, or East Coast likes Shake Shack, West Coast likes In-N-Out. I love them both equally, but I definitely miss In-N-Out, and they're wicked cheap. So make sure that you go to In-N-Out Burger. If you go to California, you don't go to In-N-Out Burger, do not talk to me ever again. That's how serious I am. They're so good. So, of course, San Diego, La Jolla area, you are number 4 on this list, but who is number 3? So number 3 is going to be the Virgin Islands. Now, this is your escape from city life. It's not going to be any hustle or bustle or craziness. It's all going to be about a relaxation and possibly some awesome adventures. Like, you can go on that picture where I showed the cat, which is like a seafaring boat. And you can go on the Caribbean, have like a 2.5-hour Caribbean, like, I guess you'd call it a cruise. It's like 20 or 30 people on board. They have awesome music, like a buffet of food, alcohol. It's all included. It's fantastic. You can do that. You can go zip lining across, called tree liming, which was which was really, really cool. A lot of those things are expensive, but definitely worth it. You can do some kayaking around the Caribbean that has like lit up boats so you can see where you're going. You can snorkel and do all kinds of things. And if you don't need to do all that, you can literally just go to some of these amazing beaches. They have some of the top beaches in the world. Now, one of them I might be saying wrong. I've always never known. It's like Magens Bay or Magens Bay. That beach is so beautiful. And they have tons of little shops and little restaurants and all kinds of things. You'll get some of the best food that you've ever eaten, and definitely the best Caribbean food. Like the plantains they have are good, which I never thought I'd like plantains. They also have great little breakfast joints. There was I ate this amazing bacon, egg, and cheese croissant that was everything was homemade down to the bread itself. Or you can go and have some really good pizza, or in the downtown area, there's this restaurant where you can have ice cream and like sushi and all kinds of like yummy food while you look down and the whole sea is lit up and you can see fish swimming around underneath you. It's definitely one of the best places to go, and definitely pick up a fish taco from the beach. You got to do that. So yeah, Virgin Islands, add it to your list. Number 3, complete paradise. You will love it. Do not ever let anyone tell you not to go there. Now, I know that they're going through some recovery right now, so it may not be as amazing as it was then, just simply because they're repairing. But you definitely want to go there as soon as possible, because you will absolutely love it, and you will love the beaches, and you will not want to go home. So that is our number 3, but what is our number 2? Well, anyone that knows me would have to know this was coming. Obviously, New York City is my number 2, and it was very difficult to either make it number 2 or number 1, but because this is World Travels, I had to make it number 2. This city is literally the best city in the country to visit, hands down. All the other cities are great, but they just do not compare. Most of them, like Boston, and the rest of them are like the size of one borough of New York City. New York is beyond amazing. It is like a second home to me. I go there so often, and I would live there, honestly. If I didn't already have a place where I live now that was pretty secure, I would just say screw it and go live there, because I absolutely love New York. Everything about this city, from the culture to even the memories and nostalgia, to, which obviously wouldn't affect you guys, to the food, the shopping, to the energy. This city is beyond amazing. It doesn't matter if it's 6 o'clock in the morning or 3 a.m. or 11 p.m. at night or 3 a.m. or whatever. You're always going to be able to find something to do. You're always going to be able to eat food or go party or drink or go visit somewhere or see a museum or walk around. The city is beyond amazing. Now, let's talk about a few things that are absolutely necessary when you visit New York or live there or whatever. And that is the food. Now, the food is beyond amazing, and you can get food from any culture you like, but I'm just going to highlight a few of my absolute favorites that you must have. First and foremost, you got your Joe's Shanghai soup dumplings, or Joe's Ginger. Now, it is getting a bit trendy, and back in the day, it was like filled with just Asian, Chinese people for the most part, and then now you're going to see that it's like filled with white people. I don't care. A lot of my Chinese friends are like face palming over that. It's like, oh, it's so, commercialized now or whatever. Doesn't matter. They still got the best soup dumplings that are around. I've tried so many from the West Coast to the East Coast to North, South, and everywhere. Their soup dumplings, the pork that's laced with crab, is absolutely amazing. So you definitely want to go to Joe's Shanghai or Joe's Ginger, and don't let any of your I'm not going to insult your friends, but any of your friends tell you that it's too much of a scene now, blah, 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 it's a tourist trap. It's freaking good, so go for the soup dumplings. Now, obviously, there's much, much more than that. So you got the best dim sum in the city. Obviously, Eastern Seafood Palace in Brooklyn is so good. They have some of the best dim sum I've ever had, from the Churng Fun to the Ta Leung to the Cha Siu Bao. Like, anything and everything, they have it there, and you definitely want to go to them. They also have these really good pork buns that have like a pastry top to them, which are really, really good. Now, the best bakery is going to be Zen Fob Bakery in Brooklyn, and the reason why they are the best, because all of their ingredients are super, super fresh, and they're one of the only places that have potats, not just dantat, but potat, which is like a Polish egg tart, if you will. And those things sell out fast. You need to actually call ahead and order them by the bunch, because you'll have people walk right in front of you in line and be like, I'll take the last dozen. And you're like, dang it. So yeah, they're actually really good. And then you got your bubble teas like VV, which are really, really good. Tea Bar is really good. Quickly is really good as well. And then one of my favorite places is on St. Mark's, which is Yakitori Taisho. They have some of the best yakitori I've ever had in the world, so I highly recommend them. They're the picture with all the meat mountain, if you will. So you definitely want to check that out. There's so many places in New York. I could talk about this all night. You've got your cat cafes where you can go in and pet cats and drink some tea and stuff like that. You have your donut factory. You have your Georgetown Cupcakes, which is kind of like almost a chain, so it's not really New York based, but it is in New York. You have so many yummy different foods that you can go to. But then there's also places that you can, I highly recommend for music. So one of these pictures I have is where I saw Eden in Webster Hall, the studio portion of it, which is downstairs. Webster Hall is freaking fantastic, and I highly recommend that. So other than that, as you can see, I've dedicated a lot of time to New York because I absolutely love it. I don't care if I just go driving at night randomly through the city, whether I take subways all around the city, where a lot of these pictures are posted are from the High Line, which I highly recommend. You go to Chelsea Market and go shopping right after. Oh man, I really do love New York, and you would too. Obviously, and don't hate on or don't listen to the naysayers saying, "Oh, don't go to Times Square, don't do all this." If it's your first time, yeah, go there. Why not? Like, Times Square is crazy and there's tons of tourists, but it's fun. It's not one of the best places to go to in the city. There's so much more to do, but still go there and check it out. Don't let people hate on it. I mean, back in the day, Times Square used to be basically strip shops and hooker joints, so it's pretty nice now. So let's not complain, people. Other than that, though, everything about this city is absolutely amazing. I mean, even if you walk down the Coney Island and well, not walk down there, but go down the boardwalk, or if you go downtown and like Manhattan and Chinatown. Now, obviously, the Chinatown in Manhattan is amazing, but I recommend going to the Chinatown in Brooklyn, which is unofficial. It's around 6th, 7th, 8th Avenue, between, I'd say, 50th Street and 63rd Street. It's legitimately how a Chinatown is, with all kinds of little restaurants and fish markets and side food, and it's not a tourist trap. It's legitimate people living, and if you want that experience, I would highly recommend that. So, what in the world could beat New York City? That's our next option. Number 1, here it comes. Well, it was difficult, but not really difficult, because hands down number 1 in the U.S. is obviously New York, but hands down number 1 in the world, and I don't know how I'm ever going to top it, is clearly going to be Japan, and particularly Tokyo and Kyoto areas. They're quite far away from each other, but via Shinkansen you can definitely visit both. Tokyo has an immense amount of good memories for me. Everything about the country and city of Tokyo, country of Japan, city of Tokyo, I loved every minute of it. From the amazing architecture where you'll see shrines everywhere to where you're just walking around the city and you're going from, let's say Shinjuku to Shibuya or something like that. Instead of taking public transportation, how about walking through the city and, there's Gyoen Park right through the middle of the city. You can just walk through this giant park with trees that are like 200-300 years old. The food is amazing, the people, the culture, there's hardly any of the crime. Everything about this city is absolutely amazing. Now, I'm going to dig right into it here and show you a couple of specific things that I absolutely loved about this city, and rather this country, because there are 2 different areas that I'm highlighting here. So let's dig into that here. So obviously, one of the best things about Japan is all of the parks, whether it's Yoyogi or Gyoen or even Ueno. They have so many gorgeous parks and with shrines and everything in them, as well as different picnic areas, which was one thing that was really amazing when we went was there was the Cherry Blossom Festival. So one of the things you're going to notice here is they have this huge dedicated area where people can just flat out have picnics, tons and tons of picnics all down this entire park, so they can sit there and relax and enjoy the beautiful cherry blossoms, then pick up their stuff and leave after that. So you got amazing parks everywhere you turn. There's parks, and they're always so beautiful. And then you can also go to so many different onsens, or they're like hot springs basically, where you can go there. Some of them are outside, some of them are inside, where you can have different rooms to yourself, and you can have your onsen. Me and Miao-Yun had our own onsen little room for a couple hours where we could enjoy the hot water and just have some tea and relax. And there's some that are in like snowy mountains and all kinds of different things like that. It's just so beautiful. And then you have like the gaming aspect of this of this entire area. So like you got Akihabara, which is like the gaming mecca. There's literally 10-floor arcades everywhere and tons of maid cafes and anime stuff and video game things. There was Gundam, different cafes, like a Gundam cafe, and like there's all kinds of like Square Enix and Final Fantasy cafes and Dragon Quest stuff and so many video game things. I played a giant virtual reality game that I was in there for like, I think it was like 30-40 minutes, where the entire room was a video game. It was amazing. Everything about it, from the video games to the parks to the beauty, the shrines. I really wish I had the balls to move to Japan, because it's probably the best place I've ever been to in my life, and I cannot wait to go back. But beyond all the beautiful parks and the zoo, the zoo was cheap, by the way. It's only like $6 to $8. And yeah, a lot of things are actually cheap in that city, except for like, the Kobe and everything. But yeah, the parks and the zoo, and how the trains connect the entire country. There's the Yamanote line, which literally runs all the way through the middle of Tokyo and kind of connects all of their prefectures, or like boroughs, like New York, like Shinjuku, Harajuku, Shibuya, Akihabara. All the different areas are connected by trains. There's so much English that you don't have to worry about having a language barrier at all, and the people are beyond amazing. Now, some of these next shots you're going to see, I'm going to describe some of this food here for you. So yes, just like you've heard everywhere, the 7-Elevens are absolutely freaking amazing. They have everything. They have delicious food that's already cooked, packaged, regular. They are very, very cheap and very, very convenient, and they're pretty much all over, almost on every street, just like every Family Mart is, which is kind of like their competition. You definitely want to check out the 7-Eleven and try their food and get some of their drinks. Very cheap, very friendly staff. You're also going to find vending machines. Now, just like they told you in all of the stories, the vending machines are so freaking awesome. They're literally almost on every single block. You'll always find a vending machine. You'll always be able to get drinks, hot drinks, cold drinks. Usually they take yen, but they're starting to get like this advanced tech. That was the one that you saw there, but I like some of the older ones better. I would always get all kinds of things, and they got some quirky stuff too that you wouldn't even know, like they had Coke that says peach flavoring and whatnot. So definitely check. You're gonna love the vending machines. Now the next thing you're gonna see here is actual food, so we're gonna dive right into that. So hands down, they have the best fruit I've ever had in all of my life. Sometimes they have your average priced fruit, a few bucks, but then they have this crazy priced fruit, which this is actually not even that crazy. It was like $10 for a package of strawberries. They were the best freaking strawberries we ever had. They were so good, we could not stop eating them. I was eating every little piece of them, but they also have like $100 fruit exact, which is insane. I just got to throw that out there. The next thing you're going to see is some of the best pancakes I've had. Not because their flavor was really, really good, but the design were so cool. The jiggly pancakes were delicious. The Dragon Quest slime was so fun. It was definitely, you got to love the pancakes and the creativity they have here. Now, the highlight of our entire culinary journey here in Japan was definitely having Kobe beef. We went to a fancy restaurant, paid a couple $100, and had the full course meal of all the different Kobe beefs cooked for us. And it was phenomenal, and it was very expensive, but they treat you like all-stars, and you definitely leave extremely full. So I highly recommend just looking up a great place. I'll even put in the description some of these places, because there's so many at this point that I could throw in the description. But I highly recommend going there and getting some amazing real Kobe beef and just having an amazing time with whoever you're with. You will definitely love it. And then obviously we have some yummy chicken yakitori. Unfortunately, I thought it was a full yakitori restaurant, and it was like basically a chicken only yakitori, so it was like a million different kinds of chicken. Those were good too. And then lastly, and of course last but not least, Tokyo, everywhere in Japan, ramen. Ramen is the best of the best here. You will not find any ramen anywhere that's anywhere close to Japan. New York City's ramen's really good. Chicago's ain't too bad. But I'm sorry, Japan is the creator, and it is so good. There's so much flavor. There's so many meats and so many different add-ons. You just can't go wrong with this ramen. I mean, the eggs are fresh. The pork is fresh. The broths are made with such vigor, I guess you could say, that I can't even, I'm like literally busting over my words right now. You gotta have their ramen. That's all I gotta say. I'm passionate about their ramen, and it's not overpriced like in the States. The States is like $19 a bowl. You can get ramen there $7-8. So that's it, peeps. That is my top 5, with number 1 being Japan/Tokyo, Kyoto area as my favorite place of all to travel. So let's recap this. And that's a wrap, folks. Again, as you heard just a second ago, that was my top 5 places that you absolutely need to travel to. I hope that video wasn't too boring for you. It was really, really long, so I'd be surprised if any of you got this far. If you did, you must really love adventure. If you have any questions about any of those locations, feel free to throw a comment down, and I can answer anything that you like or give you some new suggestions. But again, number 1 place, Japan, specifically Tokyo, Kyoto is where I traveled. Well, we traveled actually. The number 2 is going to be your New York City, Brooklyn, Manhattan. Love it. Even Queens. Queens is great too. Bronx isn't too shabby. Number 3, obviously you got Virgin Islands, so you definitely want to enjoy that. Amazing beaches. Number 4, you got your San Diego, La Jolla area, and getting your In-N-Out burger. And then number 5, obviously, is going to be your Chicago, which is a really, really nice area. The runners-up that almost made the list, I got to give love to Philadelphia. Philly is absolutely amazing. They have some of the best food you're going to find, from the Philly cheesesteak to the Amish pretzel roll things with meat stuffed inside. Gotta love them. Boston's pretty amazing. It has a great aquarium, has a great vibe going on for the city. Indianapolis is up and coming, getting much more awesome. San Francisco is not too shabby either. So there were some runner-ups, but those were my top 5. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'm going to be trying to be uploading more videos in the next week. I'm going to try to do more than 1 per week. So I will see you guys all next